This is light work. Come on, spill the tea, yeah.
The world is a chess game and you are just pawns in it. What is going on a global scale is not by mistake. It's not that these politicians genuinely hate each other and like, screw you, you did this and that to me. Maybe on the lower levels, like I'm talking really, really low, they could be. But the ones that really run the show and are the kings and queens on the chessboard, they're all buddy-buddy with each other. They're shaking hands behind the stage. This genocide, because I can't say the word, that is happening right now, it is not a religious issue. Yet people are thinking it is. You guys are being played like pawns once again. They're pitting you against each other. So you think it's something as stupid as a religious issue. It's not. It's an issue of money, and it will always be an issue about money. And while you're being distracted with this religious issue that's going on, they're doing things behind your back. They're passing laws behind your back. They're restricting more and more of your autonomy. So it's really time for everybody to wake up and just unite. 99% of us against them, which is only 1%. They hold no power. The only power they hold against you is their weapons, and also the fear they hold over you, the psychological effect they hold over you. We have, as humanity, suffered Stockholm Syndrome to these people for so long now. And while we sit here being distracted with, oh, should I get the latest iPhone? Should I get the latest Chanel bag? What's this celebrity doing? They're creating a dystopian state to trap you in it because they see you as livestock, as sheep. Now, there is a reason why they see you as sheep and they take the humanity away from you. They obviously don't see you as their equal. It's because they believe they come from a very special bloodline. The Nephilim bloodline, the fallen angelic bloodline, whatever you want to call it. They believe they are descendants of these powerful gods. And at this point, with what's going on, it's not just a belief, it's true. They genuinely are not human, because what they lack is basic human empathy. Their agenda here is to continue their legacy that was left to them by their Nephilim overlords, to finally fully destroy humanity and have Mother Earth as their own. They're interested in the resources here. They are interested in draining the resources here because these entities are absolutely parasitic. And if we as humanity don't do something about it right now, we can't cry victim, because at this point, if you know what you know, you cannot be a victim anymore. You have to stand up and do something. And by the way, the Vatican also holds a lot of the missing information of humanity's true history and our galactic origins. But they don't ever want you to know that. But I'm going to be exposing our true galactic origins. If you're curious as to why these ruling class hate humanity so much and use us as pawns so much, my book, Made in God's Image, is linked in my bio. I hope you understand that they actually fear us more than anything, because we hold the true power that they don't have.
The Denver International Airport has to be one of the most mysterious and well-known locations that involves a ton of conspiracies, and it's almost like the creators are rubbing it in our faces. This guy went there a few days ago to catch a flight. He was looking for his flight terminal, but he ended up in an area that seemed more like the back rooms. There was nobody back there. Things seemed more like props. I tagged his account down below in case you want to watch his videos. After walking around for some time, he ends up finding another flight terminal, but it was more of like a dead end. Like there was nothing back there. Keep in mind that outside of this airport is the statue who is known as Lucifer. People think that he is a node to the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and he even has a pretty sacrificial sounding past. Lucifer was being built by this man named Luis. When Luis was putting Lucifer together, a section of Lucifer fell off and took Luis's life. Luis's family had to complete the task. Many people are also caught off guard by all of the symbolism that's around the airport. When you go to pick up your luggage, this is one of the gargoyle statues that is there to greet you. There's actually 2 of them. And this is what I mean by how they're throwing it in our faces, because it's right there for us to see. There's reptilian references. There's also a ton of murals. I mean a ton of them.
I don't know. It's a whole bunch of symbolism going on at that Denver airport. Anybody got some experiences with that? Let me know if y'all been through Denver airport. Me personally, I ain't never been. I don't plan on going. But I heard that the legal stuff is pretty cool out there. You let me know in the comments.
Could run a quick Google search and find so many, and they all seem very dark. They all seem very violent, and children are often referenced. I mean, the art kind of speaks for itself. There's mentionings of a ton of war and destruction. Even this painting, it went viral during the pandemic. The submission date says that it was in 1995. They ended up saying that was just an error, because how would they know about COVID? There's also a ton of UFO sightings in the area, and a lot of people feel that it is connected to the airport. There's also speculation about the tunnels that are underneath the airport. There are tunnels, and NORAD is in the area, but they're said to just be passing luggage through the tunnels and nothing more. And I mean, they know exactly what they're doing because of how they reference certain things. They're even using the tinfoil hat to kind of mock people. Why would any airport need to reference so many conspiracy theories or use a bunch of symbolism that way?
Six Flags Sweet Ride gets stuck and kid is laying on seat.
Wow. And dude up there just casually hanging. Took this opportunity to think he was a superhero or something. Hey guys, nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Just dangling. Hey.
What the hell is going on in this place? Time doesn't even exist in this place. If you're easily scared, this will blow your mind, so please just keep on scrolling right now. Right, so this place right here is in Mexico, and by the name of it, doesn't sound very pleasant. This place right here is known as the Zone of Death. And this place is just bang in the middle of the desert. There's nothing there, no one around, just absolutely nothing. But there's something weird going on here because time just doesn't exist and doesn't work here. If you go to this place, your watch will just completely stop working. Phone clocks stop working. Any clock or anything you take there.
I don't know. Any of y'all heard of this place? Have anybody been? Because this is the first time me hear about something like this. It makes me want to go see what this is all about. Let me know in the comments.
Won't work because it interferes with the battery or whatever it may be. Apparently strange signals and frequencies cutting out, and just everything is strange in this place, but it's just in the middle of the desert, so why? There are theories about this place, suggesting that when you go to this place you will see a group of hitchhikers who are asking for your help, and when you do, bad things happen. People who have literally just driven through or entered this place have reported having strange hallucinations, feeling extremely weird. Now this is where it gets crazier again. Of course it does. So this place is actually dead in line with the Bermuda Triangle and the pyramids. And of course we know both these places are a bit suspicious to say the least. So the main theory is there something more going on in these places, something to do with the electricity, especially after finding that new electrical anomaly under the pyramids. Like, yeah, there is something serious going on.
Be careful of people that always try to come back in your life. A lot of times they trying to come back in your life because they seeing you doing better without them in it. So be mindful.
Hey, that's true right there, man. Words of advice.
What in the Matrix is going on with the clouds?
I don't know about y'all, but as a child, I remember all the clouds looking sort of like The Simpsons. Now you got all kind of clouds. Kind of like they blurred up, and just shooken up and scattered out.
This is what they don't tell you. The Grand Canyon isn't just a natural wonder. It holds the secrets of an ancient, advanced civilization. But that's not even the craziest thing that was recently discovered. In a 1909 newspaper article, there were claims of an incredible find, saying, an explorer discovered a hidden cave filled with Egyptian artifacts. The Grand Canyon has been studied for centuries, so what's really hidden within it? This is where things get scary. In the article, explorer G.E. Kincaid allegedly found a cave containing statues, tools, and hieroglyphs that resembled those of ancient Egypt. But here's the twist. Some scientists believe it wasn't even the ancient Egyptians, but an ancient advanced civilization called the Anunnaki. It's believed it was actually the Anunnaki who built the pyramids in ancient Egypt, and they also built pyramids and giant structures in part of North and South America. But once they left our planet, they took everything with them, leaving us with giant architecture all around the world.
You are a slave. When you are born, you get a birth certificate. When a ship pulls up to its bay on water, it's called the birth canal. When it pulls up, it gets a certificate of manifest certifying all the products on the ship. When you are born on water through the birth canal, you get a certificate of manifest. This is because you are now a product and you showed up on water, and this represents your cooperation. This is why when you die, you're called a corpse. So when you get a letter and your name is in full capital letters, this is not
Hey, we don't even own ourselves.
you. This represents the cooperation that you have agreed to identify with. You can't tax a physical body, but you can tax a cooperation. When we are born into a copyrighted timeline created by Pope Gregory. Therefore, on paper, we are owned by the Vatican because our names, our corporations, are assigned to a copyrighted timeline. You're an electromagnetic battery. This is why you get charged in a court, and when you get charged, you sit in a cell, a battery cell. This is why cities look like motherboards, because we have produced electricity. A city is electricity. Do you understand is a trick question. When a law enforcement asks you this actually means do you stand under the law, not if you understand something. The English language is used against you so that you submit yourself to the law. If you like Star Wars, you literally have no life. Give me a follow.
This world is really changing. Have you noticed all the earthquakes we've been having lately? New Zealand had an earthquake, China, California, another one in California, Japan, and Portugal had an earthquake today. What's changing in this world? A lot of people have been having all kind of weird symptoms, headaches, toothaches, they can't sleep, their stomach hurt. This is because we're in the planetary alignment today. If you follow the breadcrumbs, it will always lead you somewhere. In April, we had a massive solar eclipse. In May, we had the northern lights that so many people seen. And today we are in the planetary parade. April, May, June, all celestial events. 2024 is the year of judgment for these so-called elites that destroyed this world. This is not a fear-mongering video saying the world is going to come to an end. Not for us, but for the elites. Their world will come to an end when their system fall. Anytime you hear about all these earthquakes taking place like this, remember that Earth is really the heart. So anytime there's a major earthquake in the world, these are pains that's coming from the mother. We are spiritual people, remember that. Anytime you go do a spiritual awakening, your body will actually vibrate and shake. What's going on right now with these earthquakes is the earth is actually going through a higher vibration. That's why the world is shaking right now. Remember, we live in a duality world right now. We have two ways of seeing everything. Back in ancient times, we ain't use our two eyes to see the world. We use our one eye, but now we see everything from two different directions. That's why this planetary alignment is so important, because it's going to line us back up and our chakras are about to be activated.
Russia has just made a discovery of a new dangerous blood-sucking fly. If you want to get technical, pause. Anyways, these blood-sucking flies that just magically appeared in Russia are very bad for spreading things that ticks and mosquitoes spread. So really, who knows where they came from? I don't. Back to June 6th.
I have predicted that there will be earthquake June 6th.
June 6th? Any specific location or?
LA and Vegas.
On June 6th?
On June 6th of 2024. Alright, that's where I'm gonna leave it with.
There you have it. Everybody get the hell out of Los Angeles.
Y'all thinking he calling cap, or y'all thinking he knows something that we don't know? It's only 2 days away and we about to see.
Everybody get that. If you're watching this, run.
Yeah, I'm convinced that it's probably thousands flying up there right now. We just can't see them.
A new technique might be the key behind augmented reality glasses. Take my money. Normally, lenses are curved so that they can focus light, but physicists from the University of Amsterdam and Stanford have made a flat lens that is only 3 atoms thick, using a material called tungsten disulfide, which is usually a dry powder lubricant and pretty handy for fasteners and bearings. They created these rings, and how they work is kind of like a Fresnel lens. Fresnel lenses became pretty popular in the 1800s in lighthouses. Hundreds of pieces of cut up glass would redirect the light so that it was all going in the same direction, making it brighter. Very basically, the tungsten disulfide absorbs light, and that pushes an electron to a higher energy level, and that leaves behind a hole. This can get pretty complicated, but what you need to know is if this is done on a small enough scale, the electron and the hole left behind are close enough to stay attracted to each other. And when they get back together, it sends out light. So light was absorbed, re-emitted, making a bright focal point. What's interesting is they did this study for red light specifically, so all the other wavelengths of color just pass through totally unaffected. And that would be pretty handy for augmented reality glasses, because very specific parts of light could be used to collect information that wouldn't affect what you see. I would buy this right now.
This whole segment, the only thing I can picture was Terrence Howard in my head.
Morbid Facts, Part 266. In 2019, a 7-year-old Indian boy was admitted to the hospital after complaining of severe jaw pain. Doctors were astonished to find 526 teeth in his mouth as a result of an extremely rare dent.
Can you imagine sending your kid to school and he get bit by that kid? Talking about taking a chunk out of somebody.
Condition. In 1969, a drunken Richard Nixon ordered a nuclear strike on North Korea for shooting down a spy plane. Luckily, his national security advisor Henry Kissinger also got on the phone with the Joint Chiefs and convinced them to stand down on that order until Nixon woke up sober the next morning. If you feed a human body to pigs, they will eat just about all of it except for the teeth. Several murderers in rural areas have used this fact to their advantage. Towards the end of World War II, Japan was planning on spreading a plague across America. The plan was to send hundreds of kamikaze pilots with planes full of plague-ridden fleas to the coastline of California. But the plan was never carried out because Japan was forced to surrender 5 weeks before they were gonna do it.
Seek Your Ice Cream Truck is back. Despite dystopian highways filled with Orwellian ships that censor, or draconian bands of shadows, still pulling up with that ice-cold truth, even when sirs want to press you. This same wordplay and doublespeak is referenced by Lauryn Hill. Perfect slang like a gang of street masons. Masonry and secret societies being the origin of slang and doublespeak, used in witchcraft, used from every level, from hip-hop to other kinds of music to perversion, even through politics, basically when someone is saying one thing but meaning something different. This is right at the center of magic, language, words, spells, and the nature of humanity, especially the crazy, power-hungry type. The origin of this doublespeak slang and how it's made its way into all forms of culture is kind of fascinating. Speaking of ships equipped with sensors, don't worry. I'm not going to talk about glitter, the secret purpose of it, what it really is, why there was a shortage, and the possible fictional theory of how it could have been related to military, possibly. Because we all know of sensitive little sensors on it. Or the rumor of the Greenland, somewhat Tower of Babel spaceship-like building craft found buried. That was a supposed story from a whistleblower. True or not? Old maps segue. Why do so many old maps look different than maps from today? Is there hidden land out there? Or were all cartographers just buffoons? But I will just dangle out there the thought of the impossible Penrose mirror structures and what aerohaptics have to do with the firmament and life. But I probably should leave out how magnetobiology holds the secret to good old Orwellian restriction. Speaking of clowns, could the whole Nephilim clown archetype thread be related to my video 2 videos ago about the sun, certain events, and demon face syndrome? Which they definitely didn't want people to see, so yeah. But could that be related to a weird thread in the Book of Enoch about makeup technology? Which is an interesting rabbit hole. What does that have to do with Star Wars and other movies using actual real demon characters that African tribe leaders say that they're in contact with, and they're amazed that producers can come up with the same beings? Foreign accent syndrome, consciousness shifting, ancient Egyptian Jedi schools, an old man that can outrun the fastest horses in the world. All mysteries for next time. About to pull up on another block.
Hey yo Nizzy, I think these people have been telling us about the Leviathan this whole time. Have you seen this documentary Watch the Water? Look at the insignia for Watch the Water. Look, wouldn't that be a giant snake coming up the pole, right? And we know where the snake is. We've already determined that this is the giant snakehead in Antarctica, which is also known as the South Pole. So why is this insignia a giant snake or leviathan climbing?
I don't know, that kind of remind me of something like the medical insignia. I don't know, I might be tripping.
Up the pole, like the South Pole. What do you think of this, Nizzy? Look at this.
I think you're right, bro. Now, you know what the crazy part is? I seen that the Watch the Waters 2 is coming out. I didn't even see the first one, but I seen this trailer, and I peeped in the number 2. You see the dragon scales or the reptilian scales, bro? And the fact that the title, Watch the Waters. The fact that there's been so much going on lately with the waters, I know it's something new. And I believe that both movies are just giving hidden subliminals towards the Leviathan, bro.
I truly believe they were telling us about the Leviathan in a coded message because they're talking about snake venom. Check this part out. Listen to this.
It also can read crown. Corona means crown also in Latin terms. Corona means crown. Visually, we see kings represented with a crown symbol. Right. So put that together for me. King Cobra Venom. It actually could read King Cobra Venom Pandemic.
Now I ask you this, wouldn't you think that the Leviathan would be the king of all cobras since it is the biggest of all cobras? And just to cap it off, they were talking about snake venom being in the water. So why does Leviathan and snake venom give us the same numerics and gematria? Look, we have 11 in this English ordinal and 38 in full reduction. Nizzy, they have been telling us this whole time, bro.
Wake up!
Do you know how big the eggs of different animals are? A fly egg is only 1.2 mm. This is a turtlefish egg, about 5 mm. This is a sea turtle egg, about 19.5 mm. This is a thrush egg, about 27 mm. This is a snake egg, about 35 mm. This is a quail egg, about 35 mm. This is a common sea urchin egg, about 48 mm. This is a falcon egg, about 52 mm. This is the egg we eat every day, about 55 mm. This is a guinea fowl egg, about 60 mm. This is a duck egg, about 65 mm. This is a black-backed gull egg, about 66 mm. This is a robin egg, about 68 mm. This is a razor-billed auk egg, about 75 mm. This is a turkey vulture egg, about 75 mm. This is a hadrosaur egg, about 12.7 centimeters. This is a penguin egg, about 12.7 centimeters. This is a turkey egg, about 14 centimeters.
My thing is, all these different type of eggs, but we only eat like 1 or 2 types. We need to come out with some new kind of eggs, man. I'm ready for some new animals or something, man. These old ones getting kind of boring.
This is an ostrich egg, about 15 centimeters. This is a Maiasaura egg, about 16.2 centimeters. This is an oviraptor egg, about 17.5 centimeters. This is Harry Potter's golden egg, about 28 centimeters. The largest is the dragon family egg, about 43 centimeters.
I wonder how that'd taste fried up, that dragon family egg. With some pancakes.
This is the real reason we stopped exploring the ocean.
This is why NASA stopped exploring the ocean.
Explain it to me, brother man.
NASA first began exploring the deep sea in 1958, but completely stopped in 2014 for some unknown reason. They then started putting all of their efforts towards space exploration and trying to get us off this planet. People obviously began wondering as to why they made the sudden change, but no one had any clue. Well, that was until just a few days ago when a head engineer at NASA was fired and he decided to speak out about this. The man stated that despite the popular belief that only 5% of our ocean is explored, NASA in reality had 68% of our ocean mapped out. But this is when they stumbled upon something unusual. They have found an enormous cave opening near a region of Hawaii which they have never seen before. The cave eventually led them to a ravine that was completely submerged underwater, and it was nearly 50% deeper than the Mariana Trench. NASA then developed submarines that were capable of submerging that deep, and they made their way down. On their way down, they started seeing many strange creatures which exist nowhere else on Earth. Just 30 minutes later, this is when they saw yet another massive cave. When the submarine pointed its flashlights inside the cave, a massive eye was staring directly into their souls. It was the size of a house, as the scientists stated, and they were all horrified. They immediately went back to the surface in fear. The engineer also shared some photos of this encounter. If you want to see it, comment view image.
This is not the spirit of Yahuwah, part 1.
7 years in the name of Jesus. 7 years what? 7 years.
Hey, I remember as a kid, I used to watch these shows and go imitate on my cousins, fake making each other pass out like we was the pastor.
She was in an accident, couldn't bend her knee, couldn't even get out of bed today. Today the power of God. You want that power? Get down here.
Look at them shaking and stuff, man.
Did you see the twitch on that shoulder?
What you just saw was a clip from a church. They do the same exact stuff in the occult. Look at this. It is 1000% demonic. It is a Kundalini spirit that has infiltrated the churches. Galatians 5:22 lists the fruits of Yahuwah's Ruach, or spirit. And one of them is self-control. There's no instance in the Bible where people fell down or they touched your head and you fell down and you started shaking, except when there was a young boy who was possessed by a demon. And look what it says, the demon threw him down in convulsions, shaking. I'm gonna make a whole series exposing the false Kundalini spirit that is in these churches. If you guys want to see part 2, hit the like and the follow. Barak Yahuwah. See you guys in the next video. Shalom.
There's people putting out top 10 NASA hoax videos, debunking the moon landing, picking apart NASA just left and right. It was awesome. Awesome time for YouTube between 2015 and 17.
Even Google mentioned it during their commercial. Do you remember this? Why would Google be promoting this?
As a joke?
As a joke? No. We know why. They were panicking. Panicking because the platform they purchased 10 years ago was collapsing with truth. The powers that be would not allow that.
As we want to provide users with authoritative, trustworthy information.
I'm sorry to cut you up. I only have a minute and a half, and I don't really need to hear what you're trying to provide. I want to know how you're dealing with all these conspiracy theorists on your platform.
So the first way is by demoting low quality content and promoting more authoritative content. And the second is by providing more transparency for users. So we're introducing boxes that provide factual information at the top of results that have shown themselves to turn up a lot of information that's counterfactual, such as searching for the earth is flat on YouTube, where you see a lot of...
Your response is to put a box saying, nope, the earth is not flat.
Correct.
Okay. So instead of deleting all of the millions of videos we have made, they simply decided to bring in their puppets to reiterate the agenda at stake.
We are already sufficiently motivated to invest the necessary resources and people in addressing this problem.
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake, honestly.
The earth being flat is getting out of control. Can you please help?
Can you please help? When you stand on the shoulders of those who came before, you might just see far enough to realize the earth isn't flat.
1 + 1 is?
2.
Color is the sky.
Blue.
And the earth is...
round. Second is here.
This one celebrates flat earth theory that is spreading ironically around the
world, and it's possible roundness.
Spinning. Now they are talking about it. They want you to search for it, because they already changed their algorithm to be set up in their favor.
What is this trash?
None of this tells you our side of the story. These are all videos they put together, so you can watch and learn. Nothing. Nothing that any of us would show you. Like here, have you ever seen a time lapse of the sun? Does it look like the earth is rotating backwards and the sun is still? Or does it look like our sun is simply moving across our sky, traveling away from your perspective? Again, but with some inversion. You can clearly see the sun, not only decreasing its size, but heading towards its next destination, with a slight turn, before it disappears from your line of sight.